Hey friends, I coming to you today after a long day of hard work, which is awesome. Um, let's see. I just want to show you some things here. I'm in one of my favorite spots at the kibbutz. You know, you've seen it before. But then look at these clouds. I mean, just gorgeous. I always thought that Texas had beautiful sunsets, but here the clouds just are something else. And anyway, apparently they've had a lot of rain, more rain than they usually have. And so that's really kind of cool because it's keeping everything green and healthy, and they're kind of just in shock over it, really. And so that's been good. And I do have some requests as far as just the team. We've had several members really get sick, and I mean like super sick where they cannot work, and like flu symptoms or things like that, some tummy stuff, a ton of sinus stuff. And anyway, just I was worshiping today, I was singing a song about how our praise, all the breath in our lungs just belongs to the Lord, and that we'll use that breath to praise him. And so I just thought, gosh, as we sing that out, I pray that he is going to be healing some of the lungs in this group that are really struggling right now. And I know a lot of us, we're kicking up a lot of dust, we're kicking up a lot of stuff. And so people are inhaling everything. And if y'all can just be prayerful about our team members, that they would get well, because I know that's been really, it's been a bit frustrating for a few of them. It's primarily been the men that are struggling, like with the breathing stuff, and it's just frustrating. You want to come here and you want to work really hard, and you feel like, you know, what am I doing if I'm not here able to work, if I'm just laid up in a bed? So at any rate, please pray for those things. Also, I realized how often I say at any rate, and that it's just ridiculous, but it is the way it is. That's just, I guess that's my anyway, see, there we go. I would ask also for prayers for our team, just that there's not any disagreements, nobody's fighting or anything like that, but there's just been, there's different personalities and people see things different ways. And so I just want to preemptively pray that there won't be any division among the team, just in matters of opinion or differences in opinion, that it would just be that the Lord would just lead us and guide us, that we would know how to honor each other well, and then also, and more importantly, just honor the Lord in all the things that we're doing, because that ultimately is the most important thing. Sorry, I'm moving so much, guys. I'm trying to stretch out my back a little while I'm sitting here. I definitely say illness is something to pray against. We've just had a lot of illness, I would say. Just yesterday, let me give you an update about Jerusalem. I'm going to try to do this maybe in 2 parts, because it doesn't send very easily whenever I make a long video. But Jerusalem was incredibly different than I expected it to be. I mean, it was Jerusalem. It looked like Jerusalem. It looks like the pictures I've seen of the Garden of Gethsemane, and the Mount of Olives is just huge, but the part of the Mount of Olives that we went up on, we could see the Eastern Gate, and it's just fascinating to look at that stuff and go, man, this is where Jesus is going to set his feet. Like, this is where he is coming back, and that's where his feet are going to be. And it's like, that's crazy, like, just to think about the reality of that. And definitely walked on some roads that we know, he would have walked on, and it's just incredible. And so my teammate and my roommate and I have only got till, I guess this Friday, we are going to head out to the Galilee. And so this is our last week here, and we're already at Tuesday, which is just crazy. And so if you can just pray for us too, that as we transition to a new thing, it's still going to be serving, just with a different group of people and in a different way, that you would really just pray we will just bless the people, and know what our role is. But I'm going to miss this area. I'm going to miss this kibbutz. It is beautiful here. And the beauty is more about the people than it is the place. There's so much garbage everywhere. We're just cleaning up constantly. And I'm not talking about like, little paper cups, although there are paper cups. I'm talking about like massive piles of trash that was left after construction. So, plywood and other wood and big metal pipes and, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's been extensive work, and carrying up bags of cement and tile up, 15 steps and upstairs to apartments. And it's been hard work. It's been a lot of stuff, but it's the people here and it's this community that make it so beautiful. So I'm going to miss that a lot. But yeah, Jerusalem, I'm sorry. All these updates are all over the place because I think of something and I'm like, oh, I want to make sure I get that in. But Jerusalem was just very different. And, when I went to the Garden of Gethsemane, I had all this stuff in my heart. Like it was just going to be this most peaceful place and that you could really just kind of connect with the Spirit there. And it was kind of crazy. You could hear all around cars, and it's kind of like New York in that they honk a lot. And they're just, it was just a lot of driving and a lot of cars and a lot of noise and a little bit of birds, but like it's more peaceful here on the kibbutz for sure. Even with the rockets and the gunfire and the whatnot, like it's still more peaceful here. And so it was really different than I expected. And just from what I've unpacked with the Lord so far, there's still a lot to unpack with the Lord, because it was like, it's probably the one place in Israel that I've gone that I had an expectation. And, we just shouldn't do that. We just shouldn't carry our expectations into places, because God has the way He wants to do it, and His way is best. And anytime we come with expectations, we can be let down. But I think He really had a lot of lessons for me there. First of all, we tried to fit in too many things. We tried to see... there's debate over where the actual tomb is that Jesus was, buried in. We know He didn't stay there. So I guess it's a moot point. But there's one in the church of... I think it's called the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And that is a dark place, y'all. It was strange. Even as I walked through it, there was incense burning, and it was like a stench in my nostrils. And it made me think of like how all of the things that they're doing, I shouldn't say all of the things, but a lot of the things that they're doing there are a stench in God's nostrils. And one example I have is we had gone in, and one of the members of our group came in a little after us to that place to see where they're saying it was Christ's tomb. And she started taking pictures, and they came in and they like literally were like, you need to get out now. And they were being very mean and aggressive, and like, I don't know, just sending us away. And they were so angry, and it was just, I thought, man, like, she didn't hear them tell us don't take pictures. And so to her, it was just like, what? But she was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, and, but they were so angry, and it was just so, and there was all of these candles and things around, and like lanterns, and it didn't feel reverent. It felt idolatrous. It didn't feel holy or sacred. It felt like a way to make money. I can't even describe it to you. Everything kind of had this feeling. Even in the Garden of Gethsemane, there was the gentleman that let us in, not the gentleman that that got us there and got us in and had the connection, but like the guy that was working there. There was just some stuff that felt so shady, and it just felt like all they wanted was for you to throw another, money in the donation box, more money, more donation. And it made that place, at such a beautiful, sacred place, feel dirty. I mean, it just made it feel like, I don't know. I just know that the Lord, like, I just kept thinking of Him turning over the tables, in the temple, that they had defiled it so bad by their greed. And that's what it felt like to me. And so we saw some beautiful things, and we were surrounded by beautiful things, but the noises and the atmosphere was not peaceful and sacred. It was greedy and pharisaical. I mean, that's just really the only way I can describe it. So anyway, it was just very different. Still very glad I went. So glad to have seen those things and to have taken the pictures I did take and all that stuff. But it was just so very different. And so it was a sweet gift of the Lord to let me see, like, my quiet time at home in my chair has been more sacred than standing in the Garden of Gethsemane, although the invitation to come there still spoke so many things to my heart of the Lord. And I did have, don't get me wrong, I put my earbuds in so I couldn't hear the traffic, and I put on my worship music, and I did have like just a really sweet time in that place. It was just a very sweet time. But I didn't feel like, oh, the presence of the Lord so strong. In fact, it was just the way we ended yesterday evening that was my most favorite. I mean, there's a ton of other things that I want to share at some point about the city of David and just some really cool stuff we got to see and be a part of. But we ended at a house of prayer here in, well, it was there in Jerusalem, and it was just so beautiful to watch these young kids. I mean, they're in their early 20s, just sing to the Lord in both English and in Hebrew, just praises and songs for the peace of Jerusalem and for Israel. And it was just incredible. I mean, it was really just an incredible way to end the whole day. And so just really sweet times over the last couple of days. Thank you all for praying for me and for my heart. Honestly, I haven't, you can tell how hard I'm working. Look at my nails. They're just gross. It's kind of funny. I just caught a flash of them. But thank you all for praying for just my heart and all of that. I had some quiet on like the 4th, and I'll have some more quiet, over these next few days, but just to really process things. But it's been sweeter at the kibbutz than it has been anywhere else. And so while I am excited to go back to Jerusalem and do it as more of a touristy kind of thing, I'll have a different outlook on these places I'm going. I find the peace and just the presence of the Lord really strong here. And especially in the praise of the people. So y'all don't even have to just pray. Please worship with me. Just worship when you're in your car, or when you're sitting somewhere and you have the opportunity. Please raise your voice in worship, because I know that God is going to move through that in ways that he can move through worship as easily as he can in prayer. And so thank y'all. I am already almost at 13 minutes. So thank you for listening and keeping in touch with me through this. Still, please pray for Vivi. She is precious, and I'm praying for her soul, and pray for our friend David. We're going to go tonight and be a part of a barbecue to bless some soldiers. So that's going to be really fun. And pray for Vivi and for David. Please pray. There were some gentlemen, we cooked us some soup for some of the soldiers here yesterday, and that was really well received, and really encouraging to talk to those guys. They seemed to have some faith, and like one of them said, Hazel said something about hearing the Lord, and he said, "You hear God? I've been praying to hear God. I want to hear God." And so it was just such a cool opportunity to encourage him that he will, if he continues to seek the Lord, he will find him, and he will speak to him, and he will hear. And so that was just a cool, and this is stuff that happens every day. There's just little cool things. And then, well, I think I may have already told you, but one of the really sweet things is I walk around with my worship music playing in my back pocket an awful lot, and I'm just singing as I work. And so I found out that some of the team had come over where I was working because they wanted to be near the worship music, and I thought that's sweet. And then the other thing was one of the guys here on the kibbutz, who is not religious at all. He came over and we were working with him, and I had my phone in my back pocket, and I was just singing, and he actually brought out this huge JBL speaker. It's like extra large, humongous speaker. And he said, here, you use this. And so he was like encouraging me to put my worship music over this huge speaker. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. And then so we did it, and we were just working and worshiping. And he wasn't worshiping, but he was just listening and working. And then it ran out of battery, like it died, and we didn't have the charger that you need for that speaker. And so I was like, well, I guess that was it, but thank you. Over the weekend he went and he bought a cord for us for the JBL speaker to be able to plug it in and play our worship music while we work. And I just thought, man, that's crazy that this man that does not love Jesus and does not believe in God is helping us do things to worship our God. And I just thought that is so cool. So that was really super encouraging. And then David, the one that's on our team, but he is not a believer, he came over, and he every time he's just been like, I could listen to you sing all day, and just like these really sweet compliments about my singing and whatnot. And that's precious to me, because this is a man who does not love the Lord. He does not love God, but he's listening to these worship songs. And I just think, good grief, like, what a cool, I mean, it's just blessing my socks off, because y'all know me and I love worship. Like, it's my heart. And so it's just been so cool to be able to do something that is so life-giving to me and watch how God is using it to bring life to other people. And man, I'm just praying he will move mightily through those praises. And yeah, so that's it. I love you all. You can hear it's a quiet day, not so much gunfire or things, and that's been nice. This last day and a half, it just has not been as much war sounds as it has been before. But I mean, we know it's still raging around us. We know it very clearly, but it's just so peaceful here. So anyway, I love you all. Thank you for praying. Mwah. Keep praying. The Lord is moving and doing wonderful things. And again, I'm just so thankful and privileged to be here in this time. So blessings to all of you. And y'all, please, again, say an extra prayer for Rob, because he is holding down our fort at home. And I just can't express enough how much gratitude I have. I miss him a lot. But I'm so thankful for him supporting me in this, just knowing that it was a move of the Lord and that he was behind it is so, it's just life-giving to me. And so y'all, say an extra prayer of blessing over my husband, that he will be blessed, and that he will just be that the Lord would be replenishing everything that he's putting out as well. So all right, this time I'm serious. Love y'all. Bye.